Welcome to this third day session of Advanced Excel class. Advanced version is all about learning normal Excel along with some of the advanced features like macros, formulas using this dollar in the formulas, pivoting the table, VLOOKUP, horizontal lookup, how to use all those stuffs. So this is about advanced version of this Excel. This is what we are going through today. Please confirm my screen is visible to you all. You cannot do any recording. There is a question how to record. You cannot do any recording. I am doing the recording and I will upload the video into our Open Mentor site. You can view it from there. So that's the easiest way of managing the recorded session. Fine. So yesterday what we have seen was managing the numerical data into the Excel sheet and how to do a sum, average, minimum, maximum, some of the components of formulas of which we normally use. I am taking up the formula which we normally use. Managing date function, the importance of date function. There was a mail received from one of you. I will answer those mails as I take the class. Introduction to the slightly complicated formula using equal to symbol and using addition. You can do division. We have seen these two. And cut and paste. When we are doing a cut and paste in the formula field, we have also seen how it looks like. How the formulas are shown on the copied onto the next cell. So this also we have seen. Today we go with some additional formula options, this dollar options, very important options in formula. This plays a very important role when we are doing a cut and paste in the formula. So where to use, when it will be used, we'll see that as well. Multiple sheet integration, we'll see how the formula can be applied to one sheet to the another sheet. So how it is applied, those things we will see in today's session. Right? So I'll go to now. Another things, we didn't have a class on last Friday because of some exigencies personal side. So anyway, sorry for that. Now, today what we are starting with, how to apply a dollar symbol in a formula. For example, let us take a interest calculation. So interest calculation, I am going to apply it in our Excel sheet. So let us take how to use the dollar in our formulas. I am using an exercise on interest calculation. Interest calculation is normally used whether it is in household or bank, anywhere. This interest calculation is an important activity. When you are doing an interest calculation, we'll see how formula needs to be used. So I'll say here interest in percentage. I copy it here, say 10.5%. So this is my interest rate. Assume that this is my interest rate. I have here date. It can be a monthly interest or it can be a month, amount, interest, total. Right? If I like to do this, how do I manage this? Assume it is a April, May. For this, if I want to copy April to next January, if I want to make April, May, June, there is another method you have that is called drag and drop. I block the sequence. April, May is my sequence. After I After I make the sequence, if I do a drag and drop, you can see I'm putting a plus symbol. I'm placing my cursor where you see a plus symbol to the bottom right corner. You get a plus symbol. After that, you just drag and drop. You can see now it is moving September, October, November, December, Jan, February, March. You can see now it is copied with the next sequential value. So I can do it for 1, 2, 3. I can do it for April, May. I can do it in any of this wherever there is a sequence. For example, if I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, if I have it like this, if I try to block it and then drag it, you can see 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, etc. So this sequence, when I do a drag and drop, he manages based on the sequence that you have, he will copy that. This is another advantage of so-called now. So the sequence is possible in Excel sheet. Sequence is based on the way you give the data sequence and then manage the data. 2, 4, 4 into 2, 8, 8 into 2, 16. So let me see how this sequence is being copied. I block it now. As soon as block it, I do a drag and drop. So he is not able to follow the sequence because he doesn't understand that it is multiplied by 2 the existing values. These are all where we use this kind of sequence, right? Since he doesn't know, he is putting an average and then he is adding the data. So he is not exactly following the sequence that we try to do. So it doesn't mean that all sequence is managed by Excel sheet. So I'll come here back. We are into interest calculation. I have an amount of say 1000 here. I want to manage the interest of 10.5% to this 1000. So 10% is for annum. So monthly interest rate is this divided by 12. This is my monthly interest rate. Right? So I put a percentage here. So approximately my monthly interest is 0.88. So 0.88% is my monthly interest rate. I want to apply that monthly interest to this amount that I deposit over here. Assume that this is my recurring deposit. I am starting from April till March. I want to apply 1000 rupees. I am crediting to my RD amount, recurring deposit. So when I do this, I need to calculate the interest for this 1000 rupees, and this interest is now static at location C. C2 having the interest amount. So interest is in percentage. For first calculation, it is very simple. Equal symbol, right? Block B4. B4 is the value. Multiplication. Interest amount alone. C2. So B4 into C2 is what my interest amount is. So 8 rupees 75 paisa is my interest amount. It is perfect. But when I do a copy paste to the next column, right? If I do a copy paste to the next column, you just see how the formula is copied. I am copying now, pasting it to the next line. C5, I'm copying the formula from C4, paste it onto C5. You can see now it is copying to B5 into C3. C3 is static value. It is not an integer. It is not a percentage. So now we need to instruct Excel sheet. When you are copying, the C2 is a static. You copy for all this column, copy C2 alone, whereas this should be B2, B4, B5, B6. So it should be B5, that is correct. But instead of C3, I want C2 alone. I want this to be C2. I don't want C3. So to do that, how to manage this? Here we use the usage of dollar symbol. Dollar symbol can be applied, to row or column values. So the value suffixed to the dollar is static, is treated as static, right? So whatever the value I suffix to the dollar, it is treated as suffix. So here C is a row, C is the column, 2 is the row. So I don't want 2 to be changed. I want 2 to be static, right? So if I want to make 2 to be static, apply dollar in front of 2. So in front of 2, I apply dollar now. Now if I copy this B4 into C2, $2. I copy it to C5. You can see now C5 is also showing as B5 into $2. So the $2 indicates that 2 is a static value. It will not change even though I am moving it to the new rows. So I move to the new row. You can see now B7, B6, B5, right? The rows is moving, whereas the column C2, the 2 is static. 2 is not moving to 3 or 4 or 5. So this is a very, very important concept in the Excel sheet, usage of dollar. So when there is a single column that you want to apply a formula to, this value of the formula you like to apply it here, use the dollar symbol. In the same case, if I have a static row, then I can manage $C. So $C if I apply, it becomes a static row. Let us see that in the next example. I'll complete this portion. So I copy now to all the 15 rows. Now I copy it. So you can see now 8.75 is the value, and any row you select, $2. Dollar suffix value to the dollar is a static value. It will not change. If I like to change the value, then dollar to be removed. So I like to do the totaling. I hope now you are familiar with how to do addition. So B4 plus I apply it, it is total. So I applied B4 plus total. So it is, now I totaled it, Control C. I copy this to all the columns. all the rows the same formula. Here if you see, the values are changing. B4 plus C4, B5 plus C5, B6 plus C6, B7 plus C7, B8 plus C8. You can see now the value is changing because we have not used dollar over here, right? If I change any of the value here, say 1000 plus 100, I change the value here. Now I am copying it with a static value. So if I do a formula, apply a formula to this, you can notice now when I apply a formula, B4 is the previous row. So B4 plus B5, right? I copy this to the next row. Just watch carefully. When I copy this to the next row, you can notice now B4 is changing to B5 plus 100. So it increased by 100 rupees. Every row I am increasing by 100 rupees, incremental value, right? I copy to this. Now I copy to this. You can see the formulas are already applied to the C column. The values are changing. This is my final total. So this is one other way. The entire thing I copy. Now I will try to do a row static. Now we made a column static. Sorry, we made a row static before. Now we'll try to make a column static. When I copy this entire thing here, you can see now it is B21. This is B22. So copy automatically takes the row value. Under this, now I want to make this 1000, I want to keep it like this. April 2013, May 2013. I am putting it in horizontal way. Right? I apply here amount, interest, then total. I can have it in any way. The Excel sheet allows you to keep it horizontally, to keep it vertically. If now I want to use the same interest over here, right? Then how do I apply a formula here? So here it is simple. So 1000 rupees, I make it as constant now. Interest, I want now static. So this C into this into C2. Now both C and 2 is a static here. So C is also static, 2 is also static. If I don't apply a static dollar, if I just copy this to the next row H value, you can see the value is, right? Value is 0 now. The reason is it takes H8 into D2. So D2 is 0 now. So H8 is available. So H8 is here, but D8 is a static. So here the C is to be constant. So I need to make C as a constant. So apply a dollar here, right? I apply a dollar here and then copy this value now to this record. You can now notice the value C is constant now. So I copy to this all. You can see now $C2. So the $C ensures that the value of C is constant. So it is not going to D. Very, very important, very useful one when you are dealing with the Excel sheet. Basics, but very important feature. Now, so there is another question asked in this. How do I change horizontal into vertical? So for example, this month I have it over here. I want to treat automatically into horizontal. This is another question asked. Right? Control C. Right? Paste it over here. Wherever you want to paste it, click your mouse on that. Right click. Paste special. Paste special allows you to copy with different methodology. Right? In this I have transpose. This transpose will convert horizontal into vertical, vertical into horizontal. I click on transport, I say OK. Now you can see month, April, May, June all are copied into horizontal way. Right? So I want to make this values to be copied like this. I can do it like this. Now please note we have applied a formula to this values. So values only 1000 is static. This we have applied a formula. Just note how it is getting changed. Control C. I'll put it from amount. Control C. Place your cursor where you want to do a transpose, starting point. Right click. Paste special. Repeat any activity that you are trying to do to ensure that you are getting the exact information without you forget. So transpose, I click on transpose, I say OK. Please note the formula also is getting changed. G20 plus 100, H20 plus 100. He is able to change the formula as well. So when you are doing a transpose, he is not only noting down the formula you have applied in the previous screen, and he is able to take that formula into the next level as well. So very important to be understood. So same thing for interest. Let us do it for interest what he does, because we have used a dollar there. So now we don't want a $2, we want $C, right? So let us see how he does that copying. Block it, Control C. It is copied now. Identify the place to paste. So select where you want to paste. Right click, paste special, paste special. Right, I click on transpose. Please note how he is applying the formula now. So C2, so he is able to take the same C without, even though dollar is not changed. But he is able to get, because all this record is holding everywhere C. So since everywhere C is there, he is applying the same formula over here. So he is